Hello and welcome to TXM TV. I'm Anthony Clyne and today I'm joined by Peter Rewi. How are you, Peter?
I'm good, Anthony. How are you?
I'm really happy and excited about all the transformations that we're doing at TXM. And today we're talking about the role of training in a lean transformation. Now, at TXM, our transformations are experiential. That means most of the experience and the ability of the people to do future changes comes through the experience of the initial change. But there is a role for training, and those three key reasons is what I'll go over today. But in summary, the first reason is to provide the people involved a context for what they are doing. And the second reason is to develop the experience into the new DNA that has improving as an everyday activity. And then the third is to simply expand the DNA across the current and future people in the company. So providing the people involved in some context for what they are doing is really important. And how that works is they provide the background to the process, the lean process and the lean way of working, and the benefits of the changes. It enables concepts to be fleshed out using examples that participants can relate to. And often they're examples that they've actually participated in, and then they become the experts. They translate these learnings into practical application, and these experiences provide an anchor for the concepts that they're trained in to be recalled and explained. And it helps proliferate the experience into a sustained story that person is a part of, and they are a key character in that story. So the second reason, remember, was to develop the experience into the new DNA that has improving as an everyday activity. So the reason for the training is to develop the capabilities of the individuals to sustain. So sure, the individuals know why they're doing it and how to do it, but it's around what to do to sustain the changes that's really important. And what this does, it extends and improves the lean operating system. The system gets challenged, improvements get made to it, and those people are part of those improvements, which is reinforcing the sustainment of it. And that's way beyond the capability of the lean system in the initial implementation. So the third reason is expand the DNA across the current and future people in the company. And so at TXM, we often do a pilot, but that has a nucleus of people. And these people then demonstrate through others by leading their subsequent programs. But they also need to follow that up with a little bit of training. And it also depends on the learning style of the company. Some companies are experiential learning style, and other companies more academic learning style. And so the whole training needs to be suited to the company, but also suited to each individual engaged in that training. So that's they're the three reasons for training. So TXM provide training to support all of that, and it's part of our transformation. It's not the whole of our transformation; it's a very small part of it, but it is a significant part. And Peter, how do you engage in training when you do a transformation?
Pretty much exactly as you mentioned. Yeah. It has to be relevant to the learner and has to be relevant to the organization. If you go through different organizations, it doesn't take you long to get clear on, I suppose, the culture of that organization. And it has to be meaningful, and you're quite right. But, harking back on learning styles, the type of conversations that I tend to change when dealing with leadership teams, exactly the same message to the teams themselves. You just need to change the way that it's worded. I'm a great one. I love stories. Yeah, good stories can do you a great service if they're relevant to what it is you're trying to embed. I think the other thing, though, Anthony, from my point, and I'm sure you'll agree, is one of the things that we try to do here is we try to gain an understanding of how many people actually need to learn to delegate more. And training is such a large part of this question. As people out there probably know, you can go into many businesses and you might run into one person that does it all. And that's great to have that one person there. But if that person wins lotto, all right, there's a good chance that your business might just fall over relatively quickly, and no one will be able to answer how these things are done because that one person took that knowledge with them. So in a lot of the training sessions that we do at TXM, one of the key outcomes is to not only build capability, and it's really hard if you haven't done a lot of the things that we talk to. So you need to make it very concise, very, very understandable. I'm not going to use the word simple. It needs to be understandable. But then at the same time, you need to encourage those leaders to give consideration to, so now how do you pass that message down, all right, in terms of creating the DNA? How do you pass that message through your teams? And more importantly, how do you stop yourself from getting in and trying to save the day? Sometimes it's a good idea to let people make mistakes that have been well thought out in terms of risk. And then we can, develop our ability. I used to have the saying, Anthony,
Yeah.
I still have this saying, yeah? If you don't allow people to do things, you're effectively stealing knowledge from them. And that's what happens when a leader goes through the process of trying to do everything because they're just going to get it done quicker and do it right. Mm-hmm. They're stealing that ability from their teams.
Through that deprived opportunity.
Exactly. And I've seen a lot of great leaders and a lot of great managers, and one of their opportunities is going to be, how do I get better at delegating so that my other people or the people in my team can learn?
That's right. And I really like the emphasis on stories, Peter, and the anchor of that failed opportunity or that fantastic opportunity. But even the failed opportunity, that gets reworked into a more fantastic opportunity, and that becomes an anchor and becomes a story.
Yeah, true. It's interesting if you can get the mix right, and you've seen this as well. You try to describe something in terms of the changing of a process and why it has value. And, it's not unusual to get a few blank stares. But if you can follow it up with a meaningful and relevant story or an example that you have from previous attempts to get this rolled out, it's interesting to watch people in the audience and that light bulb goes on and they go, oh, I get it now. Now I understand what you're talking to. And back to what you mentioned earlier, Anthony, when we talk about learning styles, not everyone learns by doing. Some people actually need to read a book to understand how to actually change. But, for us, it's really important to ensure that we're mindful of how people learn and ensuring, to your point with the anchor, all right, they get the message.
That's right. And so, well, thank you, Peter. That's great. And thank you for participating and watching this live production. Remember to comment on our LinkedIn page and email us at txmtv@txm.com. I'm Anthony Clyne, and thank you for joining this TXM TV episode. See you next time.
See you later.